The Celtics are on fire this season, and everyone is betting that they'll snatch the 2024 NBA championship. They've made some killer trades, and their defense is rock solid. Starting lineup, closing lineup, they've got it all covered. But you know how it goes with them. They always get us hyped up and then, well, you know. And it's starting to look like they share the same pattern as the NFL's Dallas Cowboys. Both America's dream teams in two different leagues. But with one thing in common: a potential championship hangover. Are the Celtics the Cowboys of the NBA? Let's break it down. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more NBA content. The Boston Celtics have come so close to victory year after year, but it feels like they need to play better to own the season. No team in NBA history has banked on three-pointers like the Celtics. It's a high-risk, high-reward game. This season, they're leading in threes made and attempted, but they're also fourth in three-point percentage and wins. Translation? When they're on fire, they're hard to stop, but if they're off, they're vulnerable. Last year, we saw a similar story. In losses, their three-point game wasn't as strong. So it's a bit of a gamble. If you're a die-hard fan, though, you're probably still rooting for Jayson Tatum to lead the charge. But just like how the Cowboys are called America's team, the Celtics have that same legendary status. Back in the day, the Cowboys were unstoppable, securing 5 Super Bowl appearances and 2 trophies. But since '95, it's been a series of near misses in the playoffs, leaving fans hanging. Sound familiar? Celtics fans are in the same boat, longing for another championship win. They've got an impressive 17 championships, but since 2008, they've only made it to the finals twice, and both times they came up short. It's like they're stuck in a postseason purgatory, hungry for that elusive 18th title. This recent string of championship near misses reminds us of the Cowboys' playoff frustrations. But that's not all. Here's where the similarities get interesting. Both teams are brimming with star power with unfinished business. It's no secret that these two teams have consistently boasted superstar talent. The Cowboys had Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith, and Michael Irvin, while the Celtics witnessed the brilliance of Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, and Ray Allen. But neither teams have been able to replicate that championship magic in recent years with their new generation of stars. Not to mention, the higher the stakes, the higher the pressure. It's true when they say that the weight of history can be a double-edged sword. For both the Cowboys and Celtics, the constant expectation of a championship creates immense pressure. Every season becomes a referendum on their ability to deliver the ultimate prize. And because of that, there's a lot of fan frustration. Yet somehow, the cycle of hope never ends. Despite the recent playoff struggles, both fan bases remain fiercely loyal. But it's understandable that we'd be a little frustrated because these teams aren't bagging any championships. Yet, every season brings renewed hope, fueled by exciting young talent and a belief that this could finally be their year. And while hope is a good thing to hold on to, that might not be the case right now. You see, while the Boston Celtics look like the perfect team from the outside, they've got many flaws that nobody notices once the players hit the court. And one of these problems is their depth, or lack thereof. Okay, look, the Boston Celtics have been performing exceptionally well in the 2023-24 NBA season. We know that. Heck, they're currently holding the league's second-best winning percentage and the highest overall net rating. But despite a freaking star-studded lineup featuring players like Jayson Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Kristaps Porzingis, Drew Holiday, and Derek White, the team faces a major problem. What's that? It's the team's lack of depth beyond the starting 5. You see, the Celtics' first 5 players are packed with talent. But the quality drops like crazy after the 6th man, Al Horford, which leaves the bench thin in terms of players that will provide a spark. The problem with these bench players is that they haven't exactly been consistent with their performances. And obviously, that's been a problem. Yep, we're looking at you, Sam Hauser, Peyton Pritchard, Luke Cornett, and Delano Banton. And if this lack of depth goes on during the playoffs, where a solid bench is extremely crucial, it might ruin the Celtics' odds of doing just about anything this season. Speaking of odds, everyone's got a bit of a problem with Jaylen Brown, whose performance hasn't been consistent. Look, we're not saying that he's beyond his prime, but you've got to admit, even Brown's got some explaining to do. Like, for example, Brown started the season with a rough outing in the opener, followed by a stretch of horrid shot selection and high turnovers. This led to a lot of discussion about whether he might have taken a step back. But then again, it also seems like he's been working hard on restoring his former glory. Brown seems to be finding his rhythm and has been a big contributor as of late. On the court, his decision-making skills seem to have improved too, and that's led to fewer turnovers as well. A few years ago, Boston was searching for star-level pieces to lead the team to a championship ASAP. So when Kyrie Irving and Gordon Hayward joined the team, they thought they found just that. Major injuries to both Hayward and Irving lowered their initial chances of a title, but the unexpected rise of Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown propelled them to the finals again. Boston immediately put all of their focus into evolving their young duo and was ready to move on from Irving and Hayward. It's kind of interesting to see it all play out. In recent seasons, the Boston Celtics have been super competitive in the NBA. Even though luck hasn't been on their side lately, they've always remained an intimidating team thanks to Tatum and Brown. These two were everywhere after Irving and Hayward left the team. Brown joined the team as a rookie in the 2016-17 season, and Tatum joined him next only a season later. At first, these guys played in the shadows of more experienced players. But, according to Gordon Hayward, who now plays for the OKC Thunder, the transition of leadership from him and Irving to Brown and Tatum was an interesting process, to say the least. Hayward talked about how both players were committed to give their best to the team. The pair was just what Brad Stevens had hoped for. At first, Stevens, the former Celtics coach, planned for Hayward and Irving to lead the team for several years before passing the torch to Brown and Tatum. But when Hayward and Irving got injured, this changed everything. The two of them could no longer go back to how they'd performed, and that's why the newbies had to shoulder a hell of a lot of responsibility. Despite the unexpected circumstances, Stevens' initial vision for the team ended up working out in the end. Tatum and Brown gained valuable experience early on, which has since helped them lead the Celtics successfully. But as luck would have it, Hayward faced an absolutely devastating ankle injury just minutes into his Celtics debut, and because of that, he was sidelined for the rest of the season. Irving also had some injury setbacks, like dealing with a knee injury that needed a long time to recover from. Despite the challenges that were caused by injuries, the absence of Hayward and Irving provided Tatum and Brown with opportunities to step up and lead the team. Since then, the Celtics have consistently performed well and haven't missed a single playoff appearance under their leadership. Now that we've talked about all of this, let's talk about what the future holds for the Celtics. Will the Celtics ever win a championship? They might. But will they win it soon enough? Well, Charles Barkley thinks so. He doubled down on his opinion before the Celtics game against the Denver Nuggets, saying that anything short of a championship victory would be a major disappointment for the team. But what ended up happening? The Celtics ended up losing. According to Barkley, the Celtics still have a shot of both Tatum and Brown playing their cards well. Not only that, but he also talked about just how good Drew Holiday's leadership is and said that Kristaps Porzingis is one of the best third options in the league. So, with a fan base full of expectations, star players, yet so far away from the title, are the Celtics really the Cowboys of the NBA? Well, let's take a look. Both teams have a rich history of success, having won multiple championships. This history of winning means there's a large and passionate fan base for both the teams. And then, in recent years, both teams have had a tough time matching their past success. The Celtics last won a championship in 2008, while the Cowboys' last Super Bowl victory dates back to 1995. Neither team has been really knocking it out of the park in terms of recent championships. And you know what? They both have these big-name players who get everyone talking. But even with all that star power, they still have their challenges. On top of that, both of these teams also struggle with getting everyone on the same page. And let's not forget about the fans. Man, they're intense. So, are the Celtics overhyped, having another great regular season just to fall short in the playoffs? When the lights are the brightest, will we see another choke job by Tatum Brown just like Dallas quarterback Dak Prescott? Let us know down below. As always, if you enjoyed this video, I guarantee you'll enjoy these two as well.